Christian Apologetics. When evaluating apologists like James Tour and William Lane Craig, a major methodological issue arises. Tour frequently uses a God of the Gaps framework, arguing that because scientists can't explain how life began, the biblical God must have done it. Similarly, Craig defines a creator as a spaceless, timeless, and immaterial being. These explanations are no different than saying Santa Claus created life or the universe. There is nothing to test scientifically. God is like a ghost, existing by definition in a way that leaves no empirical footprint to falsify. Now, Christians today often believe in billions of years and the Big Bang, but at the same time, apologists like Lennox or Heiser still believe or believed in Adam and Eve, even though the biblical text describes an ancient, very primitive worldview of a flat Earth in the center of the solar system, creation in 6 days, and a 6,000-year-old universe from the genealogies in Genesis. The text includes 10 mythological figures before a flood and 10 after, mirroring other similar but different mythological explanations like the Sumerian king list for floods, which we now explain through plate tectonics. Historical records show the Egyptians were seemingly unaware of any global flood, directly contradicting the story. Christians maintained through history that Adam and Eve were the first humans, but that story was untrue. This makes apologetics seem unreasonable, and they can't question Jesus or Paul, who in Genesis saw the foundation of the world. Instead of seeing all this as falsified and primitive, scholars like John Lennox pivot to metaphorical interpretations. Yes, maybe the texts don't mean all this, even though it makes perfect sense. Did the author of Genesis know anything about radiometric dating? No. So the main issue with Lennox and others who harmonize science and Genesis is anachronism, reading stuff into the mind of an author who most probably didn't know anything about our origins. Claire Patterson dated Earth to be 4.5 billion years old using radiometric dating in 1953, so it ought to be obvious that such methods didn't exist in antiquity. Another apologist named Wes Huff uses the beloved disciple as an eyewitness, yet this figure is entirely absent from earlier records. This risks contaminating early historical layers with late, legendary developments. Licona, another apologist, classified Matthew's resurrected saints in chapter 27 as a poetic device. But what's the issue here? Well, that no huge zombie apocalypse was mentioned elsewhere in the New Testament or in extra-biblical sources. But if you're an apologist, you can't say that this story is very dubious, so Licona has to say that it is poetic. Ultimately, this is about the standards we use to distinguish fact from fiction. When we accept untestable creators, primitive myths, late star witnesses, or unrecorded zombie apocalypses, we abandon the filters that protect us from misinformation. If we do not demand verification for these claims, we lose the logical baseline used to reject myths like Bigfoot, unicorns, or modern political disinformation. Developing a critical eye for dubious information is not just about analyzing ancient texts, it is about maintaining a grounded, evidence-based connection to the world around us.